go get some lemon. Come on, I'm filming you. Hmm.
Oh no, there's a spider web on that one. There's spider web on that one.
Alright, good on that.
Do you only need one?
I think we need, yeah, 1 or 2. Whatever. You can go. Alright, all set.
And one more.
Thank you, lemon tree. Watch out. Well, this is a baby one.
What?
This is a baby one. It's not gonna have time to grow. Well, keep it now it's done, but that's good. You have to get the bigger ones. These are gonna be yellow. Big yellow lemons. We have many.
A yellow one. That one's a big one. Let me see this one. Perfect.
Good.
Let's go inside now.
Hello, hello. We are here with beautiful, that is. Look at her. She's carrying the perfect name. Ah, see? Look how pretty she is. The perfect baby kitty. What is it? You're always here on the kitchen and now you're scared. Look at her. She's just a beautiful, healthy, awesome kitty. Oh, she's so sweet. She's the sweetest.
Are you going to start yet?
I've started already. So what are we going to make, Esteban?
The magic code.
The magic code. Okay, let's get the book.
So we're going to do it with lemons. And do you know why? If you can subscribe, and I'm not Ryan. I'm not. Well, you can subscribe to my channel. So you can subscribe to our channel.
Okay, so we have, excuse me, move aside a little bit. We have the Maker Genius book with the experiment of the magic ink. Anyways, don't need the book, it's pretty easy. So we need this.
Demonstrator why? Oh yeah, so
Lemon. I'll cut it.
You got it.
There you go.
Put the lemon inside the lemon squeezer. Now,
Other way. Hold on.
and now
All
squeeze it as hard as you can.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the other way. Here, turn it like that. You can, yeah. Or the other, you can turn it. So the juice. Here, I'll help you.
Hold on.
Just see like that. So the juice falls.
See that? And when that side's done, put it on the other side like that.
Yep. Good job.
And then it's gonna go again.
Okay. So we have the lemon. Oh, that's a lot of juice. A paintbrush. Everybody has a lemon. Everybody has a paintbrush, right? Esteban? Is it yummy? Oh, beautiful. What are you doing? All right, so now next step. Next step. We are going to write with it. All right. You take the lemon juice with a paintbrush. Go ahead.
So what do you do?
Then you write something with it. That's it.
Okay. Hey, how would it look?
What are you gonna write? Okay, more ink. More juice. All right. What did you write? Shh, don't say it. What did you write? It's a secret.
Period. Perfect.
What did you write?
Esteban is period.
And nothing after? Esteban is what? Esteban is. You just are. That's perfect. You're very spiritual, my son. All right. So then, you let it dry, right? You let it dry, so then it disappears completely. And then we're gonna see in a few minutes what it does after.
Are you filming it?
Of course. Perfect. Let me see. Okay. You're gonna put some colors to it now. Colors.
Oops. It's gone. It's gone.
What are we gonna do now? What is the next step?
Hold on.
Okay, so now we have the hair dryer. Why is there? I don't know what's going on. There was this thing. Okay, ready?
Yeah.
Hold the side. One side. Hold one side. Hold it. Hold it.
What are you doing?
They say you have to do that. Turn it. Experiment, can you see? No, you can't on the camera, but we can see here. Okay, we can see, I said awesome, love, because he wrote Esteban is
Doo-doo.
doo-doo, and I say awesome, love you. Awesome, love you. Okay, but you need to put a lot. So the problem we did with the ink, we didn't put enough the lemon. You have to put more lemon.
More.
So, yeah. So mine worked because I put a big drop of it, but yours just on some part because you didn't put a lot of lemon for your experience. So now if you want to write coded messages, you know how all natural.
Today we're gonna go on to the tippy top of the castle. You need to get 120 stars. Turn it on that. And now you have to go in the cannon. And then you have to shoot up to the top. Not that high. Like about that high. And then you don't have to talk to Yossi if you want. You don't have to. And then you have to just This is Super Mario 64 original. And then you have to go here. Then in the cannon again.
What's in there?
And then you have to shoot up here. All the way up. You have to try to get here. And go here. No, not that one. Yeah, and then that one. And then, bam!
That's it? Did you win?
Bye, guys.
Did you win?
Yeah,
Didn't you have to deliver the princess?
I did.
Oh, you did? Where is she?
Well, Daddy already did it.
Uh,
Bye.
Hello everybody! This is Fanny and Esteban.
Can I say hi?
Yes, come say hi.
Hi.
We hope you're doing good. Okay, so today we are making this new video about go vegan.
Subscribe and hit the thumbs up if you like it.
Good. Yeah, thank you, baby. We didn't even plan that, but where did you hear that?
From many shows
All
on
right.
YouTube.
So don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up. Today we're gonna talk about becoming vegan.
And the vacation button.
Yeah.
And the vacation bell.
And so going from food and everyday things that we can do really to find nutrients in the most natural way possible, and also healing in the most physical ways, right? Like little tips for babies or for breastfeeding, meat alternatives, all this kind of stuff, really concerning food, and then going to concept a little bit more spiritual about it, and going deeper in the topic, and introducing you to some books also that we can introduce with that topic. Yes, okay, so let's start. So how did I become vegan? I became vegan, let's say vegetarian. I wish I'd be vegan 100%. The fact is I do not like any dairy products, never have. I remember being Esteban's age in school when I was younger, and we were at a little party, right? I was 5 years old, something like that, and there were cups on the table, and there were cups with orange juice and cups with milk. And I remember that traumatized me, asking the teacher or asking a friend who served the juice or whatever, is that the juice? Yeah, that's juice. And going without looking, grabbing the juice and drinking, and it was milk. And I could always remember like drinking that milk and being like, oh my gosh, this is horrible, like I could never do this again. So I really, if we go to the restaurant and there is milk in the soup or in the salsa or whatever, I feel it right away, and it's not, I can't, I don't like the taste of it, I don't like the image of it. I don't know if you watched this movie, if you have watched this movie, Samsara, hold on, maybe.
Mommy.
And what?
So when I went to Buffalo Wild Wings,
Talk to the camera.
there's like a little bit of milk in it.
Talk to the camera.
There's like, I went to Buffalo Wild Wings, and there's like a little bit milk and a lot of spicy. And there's a lot of spicy. And then I ate the cheese dip, and it was like very good.
Yeah, so he likes that. He likes that cheese dip when we go to the Mexican restaurant. I think that's
Cantina Louie.
yes. I think that's a little disgusting. And still, this is this image from Samsara, the movie, right? When they have this cow milk and like all these cows in the slaughter's houses, and I don't know how you call it, and the pus, right, from the milk. They're full of antibiotics because they're infected so much from grabbing the milk, right, that their mammals become infected, and with the pus, because they have to produce so much a day, so the milk is full of pus. So then they put antibiotics on it to clear that out, just like when you put chlorine in a pool and it just, everything's still in the pool, you just put chlorine to kind of cancel out the effects. But to inject that, actually consume it, that always disgusts me. So just the image of it when he's eating that cheese dip, I'm like, ooh. So we're not super strict. Of course, I'm French, so I love cheese, I love goat cheese, any kind of cheese actually, because it's not the same consistency, it's not the same taste, and it's also a big part of the culture, wine and cheese. So you know, don't have to be also so strict.
Mommy, except for cow cheese.
Yeah, I eat some, but not here in the US. In France, I do. If it's a good cheese, I make the effort of eating it. It's not being super strict. Of course, if there is something that you love in like every diet, I don't recommend that people stop when people are like, oh, I need to stop drinking coffee, or I need to stop drinking alcohol, or I need to stop smoking. If it's something that you really love, don't frustrate yourself. Some people that just dream of their coffee all day, you know, and so get your coffee. For me, I've always smoked weed, and actually I'm going to talk about it today. I have that medical, right? And I never wanted, people were like, oh, if you want to try to stop, I'm like, I don't, you know, it's my pleasure, I love it, I don't overdo it like I used to. But, and actually I completely stopped smoking lately. I almost force myself, because when I start becoming very stressed or frustrated, yeah, I'm a little aggravated actually, because he just does not respect. He's so adorable, he's amazing, and I'm lucky to have a son that is the most beautiful, healthiest, super kind. Every time he goes to school, they're like, oh, he's so kind, he's so polite. I'm like, yeah, I work every day for it. But when you're the parent, the thing is like, the person that they trust the most and love the most, this is when they feel comfortable. They can relieve all their anxiety of their social manners and everything. So this is why the mom is the one that takes on all the things, because their subconscious wish to be rebel or to be doing whatever they want, the only person that they can confide, do you say that? That they can trust to really be themselves is the mother. So I get personally all his worst, like no respect for what I'm doing. He would come and interrupt me literally every single minute. So this is why I'm actually pre-recording this video right now, because it's just impossible to do a live with him. That's just not possible. Don't interrupt. And so it's their way to show their trust and relieve their subconscious, right? But then for you as the parent who has to handle it, you know, it's like having your best friend and you've been keeping something within you, you know, for so long, and then when you see your best friend, your person with who you want to be happy, excited, go do fun stuff and everything, you're gonna see them and right away you're just gonna vent for an hour, because you feel like this is the person that can welcome it and heal you and all of that. So this is also the process we need to understand with our kids, that it's, you know, yes, we get the best moment of tenderness and kindness and love and all of that, but we also get the most annoying things, because what he does with me, he doesn't do with anybody else. So even his father or his teachers, it's just the kindest, perfect child. So why was I coming to that? Because for me, yeah, the smoking, I even still force myself sometimes when I feel like my patience is really at level zero. I've tried THC pills, or I never really was into, one day I took some Xanax back then, 10 years ago, one night, and it just gets me super high. And the pills as well, they get you in a state that you're not able to function for the rest of the day. While smoking is really good because it you can control the amount. Okay, 1 or 2 or 3, and it instantly relieves all the stress, all the anxiety from your body. So even though my body, I don't feel anymore at all like my body needs it, I'm not craving it actually. I'm like forcing myself. I'm like, oh, I'm so stressed. Okay, I'm gonna smoke. I don't feel like it, but I'm gonna smoke. And after I smoke, I'm like, oh, why didn't I do it earlier? Because right away I feel this, whoo, yeah, I'm a lot cooler now. Okay, but I still have that pressure on my lungs, right? From like when you have this pneumonia, it scars your lungs. So the scars is for life. So then you're more sensitive. So that's why it's actually good to reduce and all that. So I wasn't gonna start actually with the weed. I can read to this, of course, because he's interrupting me, and this is my calming thing. Is that for this, I recommend for the parents at least, you know, to not be on drugs, on things that are going to make you tired or not be able to function, but smoking, because you can actually control the amount, is very progressive and mostly natural, right? Okay, so the milk, yeah, so back to the milk, right? So imagine, every time I see milk, I imagine the pus, all the antibiotics, and so we don't do that. But nowadays, and milk is for cows, okay? Humans are the only species of animals who drink the milk of another species, okay? Baby kittens drink the milk from their mother. The baby cows, the veal, drink the milk from the cow. Babies drink the milk from their mother, and no other animal drinks the milk of another. Okay, so we are not meant to drink milk because we are not meant to put on 300 pounds a year. We're not cows. Now cheese, they have all kind. So nowadays we have all the alternatives. We have, go play, babe. Hold on, maybe.
Can you make me something to eat?
No, I gave you the popcorn and the ice cream. The almond milk, cashew milk, sunflower seeds, all of these seeds now, they're full of protein. Even in the cashew milk, they add pea protein in there. So this milk are superfoods. It's even more, don't think, oh no, milk has more calcium. No, milk has nothing for you. Milk has nothing for you. It's for cows, it has fat. Okay, this is why people drink milk, they're overweight, because it's meant to put on a cow 300 pounds a year, the baby cows. Okay, so there's no excuse. We have all the rest. If you're allergic to nuts, there is rice milk, oat milk. If you don't like, or soy milk, it's not really good, soy milk, because the estrogens, okay, some people or cases developed, young kids that developed breasts like really early at 7 years old or 8 years old because they were drinking soy milk, because the estrogens and stuff. So maybe I should have bring that. No, but nut milk, okay, is the best. Now and just eggs. For the eggs, that is the same. There is this just egg bottle now that you can make omelets, you can make scrambled eggs. It tastes exactly like eggs, and it's just plant-based. This stuff is amazing. When I discovered that, I was like, finally, I can switch for the eggs, right? Because like I said, I didn't feel like I changed my way of eating, because I could replace all the stuff. So I became vegan a few years ago. I don't want to tell the whole story, but when I was eating some lamb, and I was in a very sad mood, and that just, I made an association with that, seeing that dead meat and like injecting this death in my body. And since then I could never eat meat ever in my life. And the thing is, like, after you don't eat meat for a while, I remember even 2 years after, I used to like to eat steaks, right? So I was at the restaurant with a friend, and he was eating a steak, and I was like, that looks like a good steak. And I was like, it smells good even. And I was like, okay, I'll try a piece. And even though it would disgust me because it looks just like flesh, right?
Mommy, wait, what? Remember when you're eating fish?
Yeah, and sometimes I do eat fish if I'm at the sea. If I'm at the sea and I know they have good fresh fish and they're gonna cook it really well, I do sometimes eat fish because I like it and it's not the same flesh consistency as the meat, right? And so I tried this meat and oh my god, I remember the don't stab me, it's magic wand, don't stab me with it. Oh, it's like my vaccine, right? Crystal vaccine. And I eat it and I was like, oh my god, this is horrible. And even after I didn't eat fish for a year, I ate fish and I was sick right away, because your body then cleans up and gets used to it. So after that I used to like meat stews, beef stew and stuff. So in Nice we have this delicious red wine and beef stew. With carrots and mushrooms, and you let it simmer for a day, an entire day in the red wine, and it's so good. It's so good. You eat this with pasta or raviolis or gnocchis. It's so good. So I was like, okay, I have to find an alternative to my favorite stuff that I love to eat and that has meat in it. So I found out that eggplant is the best vegetable to replace beef because it's very thick. You know, eggplant takes a long time to cook. So even if you make a stew with it, it's not going to dissolve in a soup like zucchinis or potatoes, right? They dissolve if they cook for a long time. While the eggplant, it stays in chunks. So if you have to make a daube or even the blanquette de veau, we have this blanquette de veau in French that's so good. It's like with cream and eggs and egg yolk and veal. So now I replace the veal with the eggplant and the cream with a cashew and sunflower seeds cream, and the egg yolk, but the just egg thing, and some white wine, of course, and it's a stew as well. It is so good. So eggplant is great to replace the meat. Okay, so there's a lot. So I actually have cooking website, okay, online called Les Végétariennes. If you go to my website pachamamart.org, you will see in my We Are One library, I think this is probably the last icon or something, there is food recipes or vegan recipes or some vegetarian, something like that. It's in French, but even just by the images, you can see all the new recipes and stuff like that. Okay. Whew, I'm excited for the session today because I actually have a lot to tell you. I didn't realize, I'm always like, oh, I'm gonna do this. It's always, I'm like, I'm gonna do this 5 minutes video. And then I'm like, no, but I have to say this, I have to say this, I have to say this. I'm like, oh man, I should be a nutritionist. So
What the?
a few more things that you can use. For example, candies. Esteban has never had candies in his life.
Yes, I have.
Yeah, for Halloween or very rare occasions, birthday parties, but it's not something that we buy and that we have at the house. Because like sugar, literally it's real. You know, when you say this sugar rush, it is real. Mostly if your child is very healthy and very sensitive, then he will he eats sugar, that's it. The next hour he's just screaming all over the place, just like a full moon, right? When it's full moon or dark moon, we know it because it's like monsters in the house, we're screaming and all of that. And then I look at the calendar, I'm like, oh, it's a dark moon. Okay, I understand why. So this, for example, we're drinking.
Yummy.
This is so good. This is Energy Renew. It is a kind of a lemonade, but it's made of dry. It's made of red fruits, berries. Heart, energy, and vitality. Supports metabolism and weight loss. Dr. Gundry, Energy Renew. I've mixed a spoon of that with some water, and it's like a lemonade, but red fruits lemonade. It's really fresh, really good. Okay, so another food that's really good, if you're breastfeeding. So now some, not so much of replacements, but specific tips for specific health points, right? So for breastfeeding, lentils.
Can you open my bottle?
Lentils, yeah. breastfeeding, yeah, lentils. So the whole pregnancy to prepare, mostly the last month, and when after the baby's birth, when eat lentils, lots of lentils. For me, something that happened. So for me, it was impossible that I was going to give my baby formula, because formula is made with milk. So, so I was going to breastfeed for as long as I could. But of course, it never happens the way you want. So, which I actually had a pretty good birth, natural, like I wanted. So I get to the hospital, the first 3 days of the baby, I have the colostrum, everything normal, except that, I mean, the birth didn't go as well, because at the hospital they were kind of rough, like literally, okay, I didn't think I was going to talk about that, but like the nurses come, they put like their hand in there, like it's really rough. And so for me, I had my hip dislocated from that, and so I had an infection. So the day after the birth, I couldn't pee. I couldn't pee. I couldn't feel my bladder. So I felt like I really had to go to the bathroom, and I couldn't. The muscle was paralyzed from the epidural, so they had to put that catheter. I had to pee with a catheter for 2 days, because I couldn't feel the muscle, so I couldn't pee. You imagine how frustrating, like you try to pee and you can't pee. Like you're like, what is going on? Like I don't have control over that muscle. So I got an infection from that. And so they gave me a handful of antibiotics. So this was the 3rd day that before I went home, they give me this handful of antibiotics. And I remember asking her, I'm breastfeeding. Is that okay that I'm taking? It was a lot. I had a lot, and she said, you take more tonight and stuff. So, and I remember asking her, I'm like, is that okay? Because I'm breastfeeding. She looks at me, she's like, this is a hospital here. We wouldn't give it to you if it wasn't good. So it makes me feel stupid. So of course I take the stuff, because you listen to the nurse, right? And plus I needed it. I was, not in condition. So I get home, and I feed the baby all the time, and he's always hungry and crying, and I feed him, and every time I feed him, he falls asleep, because he's comfortable, so he falls asleep. So for me, in my head, I'm like, oh, he's full, he's happy, he's full, he's sleeping. And 4th day, 5th day, he's screaming. And I'm like, why are you screaming? He's just constantly eating. And after that, and he's just screaming all the time. So we're like, okay, that's what it is to be a parent. I guess they scream all the time, I don't know, I'm doing everything right. And then his sisters, my husband's sisters, tell us, no, but did you pump your milk to see if you have milk? I'm like, no, I don't know. So I pump my milk, and I realized that there's nothing. There is like, I pump it, and there is like 2 drops in there. It's like completely, from all the medicines I was taking, completely dry. So just 2 drops. So lentils, lots of lentils, champagne. I know it's gonna sound weird, but the only thing, so then I had to compliment. So right away, as soon as we hear that, oh my god, the baby's starving, he ran to the store, buy the baby formula. And so Esteban was half milk and breast milk and half formula. Okay, so every time he would take the formula, he would spit up the milk, because the milk, babies are not meant to drink cow milk. This is the only formula that exists at the time with cow milk, or there was goat milk, but this is still animal milk, right? So we didn't really have a choice. So that was, rough beginning. But then every single time I would drink, and I remember, because I'd be like, okay, he already ate, he's going to bed, I'm good, I'm gonna drink a little cup of champagne, and by tomorrow morning it will be fine. Every single time I would drink champagne, 2 hours after, I would have to pump, because my breasts started hurting, and I would have to pump, and I would have like a full bottle of milk, and every time I'd be like, man, I can't believe it. The only time that I actually have milk for my son is alcohol. Like, I can't give him that. So, and I would be like, man, I'm wasting this. I can't believe it. So yeah, sometimes I would just like wait a little bit and like still give it, because I was like, at least it gets some of my milk, right? The good stuff, and I eat a little bit of bubbles, but it gets some of my nutrients, okay, my DNA and own production. So about the raw food. So now I'm going to talk about the raw food, and then I also want to talk about the babies with allergies. So the raw food. So Esteban was born a vegetarian. I actually became vegetarian 6 months before he was born. So my body had time to clean up. And so there was this tendency for raw food at the time. Raw food, there was actually a very good lady called Irène Grosjean that my friend Karine used to go do workshops with her all the time. So she would send me the recipes. So most of the recipes that or tips that I give you, it also comes from them. But the problem with raw food is that it's not that healthy, because we say that the more natural the food, the more nutrients you inject, intake. Sorry, I mixed between Spanish and French. So the more raw, the more nutrients. Okay, so tomatoes, cucumbers, avocados. We eat avocados every day.
Not every day.
Almost every day. Zucchini and stuff. So the problem when you cook the vegetables, they lose their nutrients. But they lose a little bit of the nutrients, but at least they're warm. So at least warm up your vegetables, okay? Keep them still a little bit crunchy. Don't cook them all the way like super mushy, because they will lose all their nutritional value. But warm them up a little bit, because when you eat constantly cold, the thing is that your stomach, I've said this in one of my conferences in French, in the chakra adventure for the sacral chakra. It's in French. So I'm going to translate right now in English this part that was very interesting. When your stomach is digesting, what is the process about it? Produces enzymes that dissect the food that you're eating to extract the nutrients, right? And respread all the nutrients into your organs and your body, and all of that. Okay, and then the process to convert the rest. Okay, so the selection, like a recycle, the selection what your body is rejecting and what your body is going to keep. And all of that, this is a scientific, physical, chemical reaction, a biological reaction with production of enzymes. So when you're eating warm, it's flowing, it's helping your stomach to do the work. But if you're eating completely cold all the time, raw food and cold, your stomach has to do twice the amount of effort to produce those enzymes. So it overproduces those enzymes, and it can create imbalances in the body. And so stomach ache or heartburn, or even, and this I haven't read it anywhere, but it's just for me an idea that came like a logic explanation, that it could also create cavities, because those acidic production gets back, even if you don't realize it, gets back into the back of your mouth, right? Arrête, I'm talking, baby. And I'm being attacked.
Hold on.
Come back into your mouth and create cavities in your teeth, and even hair loss. Okay, so sometimes you feel like going an extreme. Oh no, I'm going vegan, completely raw, because I want to be so healthy, 100% into the diet that's super strict. I don't eat fats. And then you're just stressing yourself out, and you're stressing your body. And so I always tell the people, like, if you have to keep drinking your coffee, or if you love pasta, for example, I know that gluten is bad, but I love pasta, I love bread, so I keep, you know, if I can have an option of eating something healthy, gluten-free and stuff like that, but I will do it, but I'm still not, you know, gonna drive 40 miles to just get that vegan-free bread. I love the bread, I'm still gonna eat it. Okay, not enough. Okay, so that was the thing. And wait till dinner. This is for you, Esteban. Come here. Come here. This is, for example, at this age, this generation, they have everything right here, right now. Here, Esteban. Here, eat some. Eat some. Here, eat some weed, Esteban. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, so another thing about the digestive fire, right? The creative fire is, so that's what you call the digestive fire. Okay, so this is the same thing for creativity. Okay, so the last part about the body, okay, is, so when you're cleansing, if you're cleansing your body, there is also other options. So of course, when you become vegan, automatically it becomes every day. Okay, it becomes a habit that you change your eating habit. So of course your body is gonna cleanse itself every day. It doesn't have to be cleansed if it's already clean and just completely healthy all the time. Seriously, when I eat a pizza, I crave pizza. I'm like, when I don't want to cook and I want something really filling, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna eat a giant plate of pasta, or I'm gonna eat pizza. And pizza, every single time I eat pizza, I'm sick. Like, not sick, throwing up, but it's like the whole evening I'm feeling like nauseous, you know. I'm feeling like super salty, I'm really thirsty, my skin is bad for 2 days after. So you can have 2 ways of fasting. You can do a juice fast, okay, so for 3 days, just juice, okay, and the best is to do the same juice, okay, apple, real, not the process, but real apple juice for 3 days, or 1 day watermelon juice, 1 day celery juice, 1 day apple juice. The least you mix it, the best, because you're giving the least efforts to your stomach and to really cleanse your body and digest with a flowing liquid, okay? Or you can go right away or do the juice fast, and then once a year or twice a year it's recommended that you fast completely, okay? Completely, not the Ramadan fasting when they fast during 12 hours and they eat at night, or juice fast or whatever. No, completely fasting for 7 days. So my mother has a nutritive center in Guadeloupe called Jeunessence, and it's a fasting center. So they go for 7 days and they don't eat, and it's so perfect for her because she never cooked in her entire life. She hates to cook. She cooks sometimes when she wants to. She makes some good stuff, but in general order, she just doesn't like to cook. And so I remember this day when she came and she was like, I found my purpose. Like, I went to this fasting retreat for 7 days, and it's like even my voice changed. Even her voice changed. Like, she was a little more softer, you know, she was all like enlightened and stuff, and she was like, I found my purpose, it was so amazing. 7 days, so it's a little bit loud. Can you turn it down one, please? Just one. And she's like, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna have a center in Guadeloupe and people can come there. I have to work and I just want to record this video for 30 minutes, but it's gonna be 2 hours if you keep interrupting me. And so yeah, but you know, who in the world has the luxury to have 2.5 month holidays to just play with their kids, or pay for a summer camp for 2 months? So of course, you know, I'm the lucky parent to get to to get to enjoy, embrace the life with the child, but yet you still have bills to pay, you know. And then they're like, oh, you have the cool life. Yeah, I don't really have a choice. I have a kid, I have to take care of him, you know. I can just lock him in a cabinet and close it so I don't hear him screaming. I mean, sometimes I do, not in a closet, but I lock myself in my room. Okay, guys. So I had a feeling that I was not going to be able to do the live tomorrow, and I was right. You see, it's not that I'm trying to shut down my child, it's that I went upstairs, I put a movie for him, I put ice cream and popcorn, everything, because I told him we're going to do the video together. So I wanted to do it next to him. We recorded the first part. And then I was like, well, we're upstairs. I'm going to be next to you. So we're still together. Okay. Just do your own thing. I'm going to record. And then I'm calling you. We're doing the last part together. And even though he has the food, the DVD, the ice cream, everything, he is just testing my limits every day. Every day. He does not let me work. I cannot work. He interrupts me every 5 minutes, even if I play with him. He's just constantly in need of attention. And then, you know, they're like, oh, just find a job. Oh, yeah? What, you know, who can work? I have a job. That's what people don't understand. It's like, I have a job. I don't have time to work. That's the difference. At night, yeah, at night when he's sleeping, most of the time I fall asleep with him when I put him to bed because, you know, at this age, they have these dark anxiety, so you have to put them to bed, even though he used to go to bed on his own, but cycles, I guess. So, c'est juste difficile. All right. You see, it's like I start a video, a project, and I'm super excited, and then by the middle of the video, I was upstairs like, I'm not enjoying this. This is not... Yeah, it's nice to do something with your child, but they can't let you do anything. So how do you want to enjoy it? And of course, he needs the attention. I can blame him for needing the attention, but how do you teach your kids to respect your space and respect your time? If someone has a tip, just tell me, because I try everything. I try to be kind. I try to give him activities, food. I give him like a set of activities. Okay, you're gonna do that. I try to involve him. I try to scare him. So like last night, I was like, I'm gonna try to scare him, like be really mean, like scream and like threaten him, right? I'm gonna take your... Last time I had to destroy his Kinder chocolate in front of his face like this, like destroy. I was like, if you don't listen to me, what was it? Yes, because he wanted, oh, perfect. See how we're circling back to the topic I was going to talk about. He was like, Mommy, can I eat the Kinder chocolate? So he already had some popcorn at the store, because if I want to keep him quiet at the store, not asking me to buy the entire store and throwing a tantrum in every single aisle, I have to give him food, right? So I'm like, first thing, we're going to get him popcorn. So he's eating in the shopping cart while I'm shopping, and we still had tantrums, but not as much. So after he had that, we're in the car. He's like, oh, can I eat my chocolate egg? Because every time I go shopping, I get him a chocolate egg. Sometimes I let him eat right away. Sometimes I say after dinner. So I'm like, no, you already had popcorn. You're going to eat your chocolate egg after dinner. And there starts a series of 5,000 times asking if he could eat his chocolate egg. So I explained it to him, no, because you already had your popcorn. Third time, like I'm telling you, you already had popcorn, you're not going to be hungry for your dinner. So, you know, the sugar usually fills him up, and then he doesn't want to eat anything. Oh, okay, but can I eat it now? I'm like, no, I just told you you're going to have it after dinner. And no, but please, I really, really want to eat it now. No, you need to wait. And there... I tried to explain to him, I get mad. I tried to tell him, listen, if you ask me one more time, I'm going to throw this chocolate egg off the window. Of course, I don't do it because littering is illegal. But so I threw it on the side of the car, like he's not seeing it. And then he's like, I know you didn't throw it away. And I'm like, Esteban, so how do you do stuff? It's going to disappear if you don't stop asking. We're going to go home. I know you're hungry. I know we're both hungry and angry right now. Please be patient and wait till dinner. And I promise you, you're going to have it. And you're going to be excited because you waited for it. And it's going to be like your reward. And he keeps asking and screaming that, yeah, but I wanted a chocolate egg. And like go crazy. And then we go home and I'm making the food for his dinner. And he keeps going. And I'm like, guys. So I take the chocolate egg, I'm like, Esteban, and I said, if you ask one more time, I'm going to destroy it. And this is like 500 times telling him that. Like I'm threatening him, but I'm still like, okay, I'm going to give him another chance, till I have to take this thing and I destroy it. Like I destroy it, I throw it under the water. And I'm like, you see? And he's like screaming like, no! Like, you know, the neighbors probably think I'm like, beating my child. No, I just threw away the chocolate egg, right? Because he's making my life hell. And so when it's like this, you're in a state like that constantly, and then but you're not working enough. Oh, you have to work. Oh, you're not making any money. I'm trying to stay me and my kid alive right now, guys. Okay, this is great stuff. Okay, so why is it good to wait till dinner? Because like I said, if you eat, so it's not only just the thing of saying, yeah, you will appreciate your dinner better because you're not going to eat, but it's also for the same reason of eating cold, that if you're constantly giving your children food all day, constantly snacking, constantly eating, not only they're not going to eat the good food that you cook for them for dinner, because if you don't feed them during the day, I'm telling you, when dinner time comes and they're starving, they're going to eat everything. When I was a child, none of my grandmas or parents or stuff would let me munch. So I always loved to munch when cooking. So, and this is a thing that I think I have from my childhood, because they would never let me eat between dinner. Or a little snack, but no munching all day like they do here in America. So when dinner time arrived, I was the first one on the table. I wasn't going away from the table. I would eat every single thing, starter, entree, and dessert, all of it, because I was hungry. And I was grateful that I had the food. But because that now, I love to munch, because I remember going to the table and being really starving, be really I remember looking at the clock and being feeling my butt, my belly, hungry, being on the TV and watching the clock, because I was like, man, I'm so hungry, I'm so hungry, and going to run at the table when they would say, hey, dinner is ready. But then my grandma would eat an amazing meal with say a starter, entree, dessert, and I would eat everything. So then after I eat all that, I'm good for the night. A little water before going to bed, and I would sleep all night. Okay, he doesn't want to eat his dinner, and then when we're going to bed, I'm hungry, mommy. Yes, because you're not eating your dinner. And even though I'm super strict, but this is the generation of the instant. Okay, when you used to watch a show, you used to have your 6 channels and your shows at certain times of the day, and you wait for every Wednesday you have the next episode, right? So it makes you want to patience for the next episode, what it is. It's also good for the memory, because a week later you're going to watch the show, you have to remember, what happened in the previous episode. Okay, so you're going back, I remember what happened in the previous episode. So all this is mechanism that makes your mind work when they're on Netflix and they're like, I'm going to watch this, no, I'm going to watch this, no, I'm going to watch this, no, this. I remember Esteban being for 30 minutes, zap, 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 no, not this, no, and his eyes going literally like this, and I'd be like, Esteban, you're, I can see your brain freezing right now, you don't even know what you're doing, you don't know what to choose, so they instant, no, I want to watch Paw Patrol right now, instant, no patience, everything I want to eat, no, I want to eat right now, so no patience, everything's got to be instant, and it's so eating every day, so not only that, but eating every day all the time also obligates your stomach to digest constantly and create those enzymes So it's the same. So your stomach is constantly working, producing those enzymes of digestion that goes back in your teeth and generate cavities. This is why they have a lot of cavities nowadays. The kids, when Esteban and his little friend was living here, and so the both of us, they were like, they were like competing who's eating the most of the ice creams, the popsicles and stuff. These guys, they got cavities in no time. It's crazy. So no, there is a reason. It's good socially, it's good to make them wait till dinner, and physically, biologically, it's good also to have a time for your stomach to pause, okay, in between, and cleanse the body. So then the fasting center, I don't know now if I already mentioned it or not. My mom has this fasting center in Guadeloupe, and so she came one day telling me that it completely changed her life. Like, oh, I did this fasting retreat. Oh my God, that was amazing. I didn't eat for 7 days. And even her voice had changed. Her voice sounded a lot younger, and for her it was perfect because she never loved to cook. She never cooked. She was like, I hate to cook. I hate to clean. So like, I don't think you could find anything better than opening a fasting center. So that corresponds to her perfectly, and they do during this fasting week. So it's 7 days of fasting completely. You're just drinking water. That's it. Why? Because after 3 days of fasting, okay, after 3 days of completely fasting, no food. It's not like Ramadan when they're eating during the day and they catch up on a lot of food at night, or the intermediate alternate fasting or whatever. No, it's really fasting, no food, nothing for 7 days, maybe. So just water and maybe some veggie broth once every other day or something like that. But this is really complete fasting, because after 3 days your body gets in shock. There is this shock reaction that shocks your cell and kind of like reanimates your cell, and the regenerative process starts. Your cells regenerate like this for the rest of the 7 days. So usually when you do the fasting, the first 3 days people get sick. I've never done it because I eat a lot, and I could not, I don't think I could stay 7 days without eating, seriously. I just love to eat. I eat a lot, and I feel like I'm already healthy and very, not skinny, but very thin enough that I don't have a lot to lose, a lot of weight to lose. So that I don't think, but if but why not? I'm not against it. I think I would. And if I really wanted to do a full cleansing and I felt like really depressed and stuff, I would probably go do it, just because you retreat from your family, you retreat from everything, you just go there, you relax, and you're just taking care of yourself, going on hikes, small, of course, because you're tired, you're not eating, so you can't go crazy hikes, but a little river walk, something like that. So her center is called Jeunessence. It's in Guadeloupe, so I recommend you to go, because everybody who goes to her retreats, they're so excited. So she offers the juice fast or the complete 7 days. So it can be a 3 days or 7 day juice fast, or it can be the complete fasting for 7 days. Okay, so this is another great thing to do, just like when you're cleaning your house and you feel angry and you don't know why. It's because your house is dirty, and when you finally clean the house, you realize that, oh my God, I feel a lot more at peace, because the energy of the house is clean now. Okay, so another thing that I did recently. Okay, so now I want to show you some of the products. So I did this activated charcoal not a long time ago, because I saw that it would be a good cleanser, because it acts like a sponge. Right, you eat the activated charcoal, and it's like a sponge in your stomach. It attracts all the negative stuff, and it flushes them as well. Except that I took like so many pills of that. I was really sick. I did this on top of a juice diet. So honestly, I would not recommend. If you've had, it's good, because I thought I was gonna have to do some vaccines. So I bought it, because when you do a vaccine and you take this with the same hour, supposedly it would absorb all the vaccine, the side effects of the vaccine and stuff, and flush it, so it doesn't have to integrate your body. So if you're working, for example, in military or government job and stuff like that, and you want to make sure you don't have all the negative effects of the vaccine, you can take a pill of activated charcoal within the same hour that you're getting the shot. Supposedly that's what it's good for, but just one pill. Don't or follow, because most of the time the servings that they give you is for a body of a full-size bodybuilded man, right? So if you're a lady and you're like 100 pounds or yeah, make sure to be careful. And I want to show you something also really bad. It's so I was working out a few weeks ago. I really wanted to get in shape, and so you know, when I do something, I want to be really good. Okay, so it's not for me. I'm never fast enough. I'm never good enough. So I was working out, and that day I did my goal score for my run. I did the best run I ever did, and so after the run, instead of saying, okay, I hit my goal, I'm gonna let my body recover, like my coach at Temple Gym told me every day. He was like, after you work out, just let your body recover, don't overwork it, because you're gonna strain your muscles. And of course, that's what I did. So when I did this, my best run ever, after that I was like, okay, now I'm a beast, like I'm gonna go work out all day. So now I'm gonna do another workout at the house, but first I'm gonna go to GNC and I'm gonna get some creatine, because it's good for the muscles, right? It helps you build your muscles faster. And for me, I wasn't fast enough. I was like, I'm good, but now I want to be even better than that. So I go to GNC and I'm like, what kind of, do you have creatine? And he was like, yeah, I have creatine, but yeah, and he's trying to sell me that stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, what is it now? And I see caffeine, 300 milligrams, 3,000, not 300. Dynamine, 25 milligrams per serving, 5 grams creatine, 300 milligrams caffeine. I never had caffeine in my life. I never drink a single coffee in my entire life. And the tea that I drink is infusions, right? So I saw it, I was like, ooh, I don't know if caffeine is going to work so good on me, you know, I'm kind of like hot breathing and stuff. So no, this is the best. I buy it. Here, take this, and don't even buy it, or buy it and then we'll try this first before you open it, and we'll refund you if you like, take the whole pack and with some water, like that. This is the day that I bought this little Yoda thing. Man, I came home, I tried that, the whole pack in this thing. I started doing my insanity workout. So by the time this thing activated in my body, this was the most horrible day of my life. It was like, I thought I was on ecstasy, and I was just jumping. I couldn't stop jumping in my living room. I couldn't stop jumping in my living room. I was just jumping like a little monkey, right? And I almost had a heart attack because I couldn't breathe. Even I was breathing like that. So yeah, by the way, Esteban picked my earrings. He was like, here, you gotta wear this, mommy. So I was like, oh, it's like the feather and the heart, right, from the Egyptians. It was funny that he picked that, right? So he's still, because he's vegan, he's still very open and connected, you know. I make this effort of always listening to him and what he has to say, but he always has to make the effort to listen to me and to what I say as well, you know. So yeah, and so this stuff was really dangerous. I broke my ankle. That was just, so not recommend, don't recommend. I was like, you know, if I have to make the efforts, I'm gonna do it with my natural strength of my body. I'm not gonna take all this stuff. Then another remedy is arnica oil. Arnica oil for babies, because when your babies start walking and they start falling around all over the place, you know, they can have really bad bumps. And so arnica oil is what it is magical. Like you put arnica oil and you put it on the thing, and you will see the thing resorbing right away. Like this is really the must have. If you have kids, always have this in your bag. They fall. I remember this little girl, we were at this B&B and she fell and she had this giant bump coming out. And I remember I was like, "Here, please, just let me put this on her." It wasn't bleeding or it wasn't open, right? It was, so like, "Please let me put this on her right away." And she was like, "What is it?" I was like, "It's arnica oil, it's completely natural, it's 100%, there is no chemical, but please, you need to do it like right away and you will have nothing." Like, and I put a bunch of that thing, and by the time she went to the emergency room and waited, and the doctor came over and stuff, she said it was almost gone, you know, so it was really good. Okay, so talking about oil now and recipes and stuff, I want to read you an extract of Elisabeth Hoekstra, the recipe to elevated consciousness. Okay, so I got Elisabeth's books as soon as it came out. I wanted to be one of the first ones to have it. And so when I started reading it, so the book is in 2 parts. There is an interview to start with where she talks about her life and her experience and traumas and things that happened in her childhood and all along her life. Like, you're like, okay, you understand that, you know, some people you don't know what people go through in their life, you know, and sometimes everybody hides a story, or talks about, but everybody has a story behind that we all carry, and then all we can do is find ways to keep going on life. You know, life is already difficult, and so after that, I also want to talk about abortion, because, you know, when I read things like that, or things about my life, or I see even Esteban being such a good baby, so good, it's perfect, it has no health problem and all of that, and still as lucky as a beautiful house, even though we're lucky, life can get really difficult, and so why adding, you know, difficulty from the very start if you know that your life is going to be, I'm talking about when you're pregnant. Okay, I don't want to do this for the book, but when you're pregnant, for example, and you already know that your child is going to be disabled or autistic or something or he's going to have vision problems, or he's missing an arm or stuff like that. Yeah, life is precious. Life is precious, of course, but I want to tell you something about reincarnation that really helped me when I had a miscarriage with my baby, and that 2 months after I went pregnant with Esteban. Okay, so I had this miscarriage, and it was really tough because it was one thing after another, and then miscarriage, and it was hard for me to. I was feeling guilty. I was feeling, you know, responsible, sad, whatever. And then I had this session with a lady that told me that it was actually already Esteban that came, but the baby would have had vision problems and heart problems, you know. So it was kind of like a draft on my body, and that he came back right after in his perfect version of him. So he had this test trial. And then came back as the perfect version of Esteban. So it really helped me understand that, okay, when you have a miscarriage or when you have to have an abortion, then it's not like you're killing a life. Like, the soul never dies. If the baby's soul is meant to come back, he's coming back. Okay, it's just like when you're trying to grow plants, and you're planting many seeds, and some of them germinate and grow, and some of them don't germinate and die. For example, we planted 2 avocado trees. One of them is growing, and the other one, I noticed this morning that he was not, and in the same weather, in the same conditions. Okay, so this is also, you know, the natural selection. And if we have the power, if you know, you have weeds in the garden, and you don't want to have weeds because it can prevent of some other plants or things you've planted to grow, then you need to pull them out. And it's the same for a baby. Maybe you're meant to have many babies in your life, but if in between you have pregnancies that are going to jeopardize how you're going to actually take care of your kids that you already have, or put you in a situation that you can't provide for them a good life, that you're going to be in the street, or that you're going to be, the child is going to be disabled. The child, if I had, imagine, if I'm a little soul, just like Esteban did, and I have the option of coming in a body that is going to have a life where he's completely going to be disabled and complete suffering and have to take meds all the time, or not being able to run, and I'm not saying that they are less than the rest, of course not, okay, because once your baby's here and the baby's born, you're going to do everything in your power to make their life beautiful. I have a friend, she has an autistic son, and he has a beautiful life, and she's doing so much effort for him. But for me, I used to babysit an autistic child, and he was just screaming all the time, and his mom was the most kind, patient, smart person that I know. And I was like, wow, I know why he was giving it to her, because she has the capacity to do it. She's so... And she didn't have a choice. I mean, she had to become it, I guess. But I was like, she's strong enough. I was like, for me, this was my worst fear. I was like, oh my God, what am I going to do if my son is autistic? Because I know I'm not strong enough. I know I have no patience, even if right now he's really, you know, all I have right now, we're fighting because he doesn't listen to me for anything. He doesn't listen to me. He just doesn't. I have to repeat everything 5,000 times, get angry, threaten. And it's a little adaptation. You know, it's an adaptation, because sometimes instead of being like, Esteban, go brush your teeth, I just have to say, I bet you can brush your teeth faster than me. And I go running to the bathroom, and he's like, what? Of course I can. And he comes running and he brushes his teeth. So you have to find a little trick, you know. But in general, we fight a lot. And this is just a phase right now. We're adaptation, because it's just him and I, and we're trying to find our reference points. Okay? But for me, if I knew before the birth, and even he had a period last 2 years, I think, two years ago, he became paralyzed for a month. This is the greatest mystery. I think he had a growth spurt. He was probably not taking enough vitamins, or I don't know what happened. From a day, he's like, Mommy, my foot hurts. Okay, I'm gonna massage you with some arnica oil. Peanut, stop! I'm gonna massage you from arnica oil. And sorry, I have Peanut attacking my feet here. He's biting me. It's not working. The next week, he's like, Mommy, my knees hurt. My entire leg hurt. I'm like, what? What's going on? So I'm like, oh, it's just a growth spurt. You know, I'm massaging him every day with the arnica oil. And like the third week, he's like, both of my legs hurt. And after, next thing you know, after a month, he's paralyzed. He's standing and he's falling. He can't walk. He can't stand on his feet. He's completely paralyzed. It's like I'm sitting on the couch, just the vibration of me sitting on the couch while he's there. He's screaming. He's like, it hurts me, Mommy, you're moving. Or when we're driving, just the vibration of the car, he's screaming. He's like, it hurts my legs and stuff. This month, I went to the emergency room 3 times. They made tests on him, like x-ray, everything. They didn't know what he had. He could not walk. My son was paralyzed for a month. So, of course, well, for me, that was a nightmare. I was like, what's going on with my son? First, I didn't know what was going on. In the end, I gave him some vitamins, and then he was better. So I think he had like a lack of vitamins at some point, or growing too much at once. So I don't know. But of course, if that had happened, that he would become paralyzed or have a disability and stuff, I'm not going to throw my son to the trash. Of course, I would be here for him every day and care him and try to make his life the most incredible as every little child, even more, to compensate with, for him loving life and everything. So of course. But if he was in belly, and I would know in advance that he's not going to have, his full body or mind or ability to thrive in this world and to enjoy walking or the most basic things of life, or I wouldn't doubt. I would just have an abortion, and I would make another baby later. And for some people, they've been waiting for a baby for so long, and then when it happens, the baby has something. So of course they don't want to ruin that chance, and they want to keep the baby. But then that's their choice of life. That is their choice. They choose. Doesn't matter. This is the most precious life. We've been waiting for him. He's going to come. He's going to be perfect, and it's amazing. Good for them. Okay. I'm just saying, if you're 16 years old, you still live with your parents, they're not supportive of you, you don't have a job, and you had a great plan of becoming a doctor, or you're a single mom and you can't even pay your bills, and you're gonna have a baby, like, think of what you're gonna give to the baby. Is he gonna have a good environment? And sometimes it's also part of the way, you know, you want to humble them down a little bit, but it's everybody has their choice. Okay, for me, I know that in order to have a baby, I needed to have a lot of space, a beautiful house, comfort, because I need to have all the external factors exactly optimum, because I knew I wasn't going to be patient. I knew it was going to be a challenge for me, because I'm going to have to, never had brothers and sisters. I knew I'm going to have to learn what is it when he's crying. I knew I was going to be really anxious because I had a miscarriage before, and so I was so terrified and scared to lose the baby that everything he was doing, like, even though one day my mom went for a walk with him, she got lost, and I went into a crazy hysterical crisis in the street because I thought they were abducted by aliens. So this was my state of mind when I had Esteban. Then she come back, and I had a breakdown because I thought they were abducted by aliens and that I was never going to see them again. This is the kind of stress that I was in. Okay, so I was like, everything else needs to be perfect so I can deal with my own motherhood, right? And this is me. And some mom, and I have a friend, they have 5 kids and they're rocking it, and she's cooking, she's a capoeira teacher, and I have all the kids and stuff, and she's super woman, you know, and good for her. Their choice. Okay, but abortion, everybody should have a choice, you know, of having that abortion, because life is already difficult. You want to give them the best chance. Okay, you don't want to come into this world and you're already, you know, imagine your life is completely crazy and you have a baby in the middle of that. And sometimes the baby can save you. And this is what Elisabeth, so see, I went a little bit circle, like reincarnation circle, like the aura. Come back to Elisabeth, because her son is also what saved her, just like me when I was in this crazy situation, and all of a sudden you have a baby to take care of. Then you have something that you need to make them proud. You need to stand up and be there for them. And so this is when she completely changed her life around, because she decided that her son needed to have the best life. Okay, so yeah, this is a great book. So the first part is the interview, and then the second part is a lot of remedies and techniques and stuff, like red lights therapy, the tapping, that actually Tony Robbins, I'm going to talk about his book also right now, he's talking about that as well. So it was funny because I found it, they published this book at the same time, and I retrieved a lot of stuff from her book in his book, and they published it at the same time. So it's not like one copied the other. It's really that this is the things of our times that are they're in the cloud, and they were connected on the same cloud and published this, because this is an information that needs to spread to all around. Okay, so, ow, Peanut. What, Peanut? I'm scared of you. He's watching. He's like, I'm gonna eat your feet. Okay, so I was going to talk about oils, right? I was talking about oils, so I'm going to read that chapter, Sesame Oil, Body Love. I searched up the support of sesame oil after reading about Ayurveda medicine in a book by Deepak Chopra. In the Ayurveda practice, sesame oil has many benefits, including stress reduction, improved sleep, and improved circulation. In addition, this oil is antibacterial, antifungal, and anti-inflammatory properties, which makes the oil effective for internal uses like oil pulling. Sesame oil also promotes body strength, nourishes the bones and muscles, and is tough to lubricate the joints as well. Yeah, not only did these physical benefits of this oil help me, but the mental benefits of addressing and rubbing each part of my body elevated my experience. After my shower, I would stand and gently rub sesame oil all over my body, all the while thanking each body part. We don't take enough time to thank our intelligent vessel that we live in during this life. I always had issues with self-esteem, and this body love practice was a game changer. My expression of gratitude for each part of my body developed in me more confident attitude from the top of my head all the way down to my pinky toe. See, head, shoulder, knees, and toes. Yeah, so about the sesame oil, this is so funny because this is the page I, sometimes I open the book, I'm like, okay, what page I'm going to pick? So I was like, I don't want to read the same topics for Tony Robbins and Elisabeth because I was going to see, she's talking about the tapping, the emotional freedom technique. He's talking about it as well, and then I was like, no, let's do two different ones. But the sesame oil, I use it for my hair, actually. Last time I went to this Ayurveda session with a friend of mine, actually, that works at the country club, and she used to have the Ayurvedic Center of Jacksonville. And she did this, how is it called? It's an Ayurvedic treatment. Sananga, or I don't know. It's like you're laying down and they have this bowl with full of hot sesame oil, and literally they let it drip. Oh my god, just to imagine it, it feels so good. I'm like, I wish I was there. The warm oil drips on your forehead, right? And you just let it drip. The entire thing, it's like a lot. It's like an entire bottle or two of sesame oil. She just lets it drip on your third eye, and it's so warm. And at the end, so you have your hair in like at the hairdresser, pretty much. Like there's a bowl under your hair, and so it drips like this. And at the end, my hair is full of warm sesame oil. So I'm like, oh, what do I do with it? She's like, you keep it on all day, even for 24 hours if you can, but you keep it all day, all night. And so I kept it. I wrapped my hair all night in that hot sesame oil. And the day after, I shampooed my hair. I don't think I've ever had beautiful hair like this, no matter what hairdresser treatments and stuff. So actually, I'm going to do it tonight. This is why my hair is not super clean. See, I've already put some coconut oil, but tonight I'm going to put a lot of sesame oil. I'm going to wrap a towel around my head, and I'm going to leave it all night. And I promise you, this will nourish your hair like amazing and crazy. So yeah, so amazing book, Elisabeth. I love your book. And you realize also that the learning from everybody you talk to has such a story. The other day I was talking to my friend Wendy, and she was telling me, oh, I went through a divorce, abusive relationship, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy because when we become mothers, of course, the relationship changes. So the things that you don't like about your partner before you have a baby, the thing is like the mother has to change. The mother has no choice. The mother is breastfeeding, so she has to stop drinking. She has to eat healthy. The mother also has to be up at night, no choice. Okay, so you're tired, you don't feel, and plus your freedom is taken because you constantly have this attachment to your baby, and it's a lot of good parts also. But right now I'm talking about the stuff that we have to heal. If it's super joyful and perfect, then it's good. We need to have more gratitude for those. Also, Tony Robbins talks about the gratitude, and she was just also in this extract. But I had peanut. Where was I going with that? So the woman has to change. And for example, I know that my ex-husband, he loved to go out, right? He loved to go out and go drink because they can smoke, of course, in the Navy. So their only kind of like release form is like go out, go crazy and drink. And most of them, they're like that. because they feel like, okay, we need to have a release, feel like life is fun. So they work all week, so in the weekend they need to have something, they feel the life, I guess. So he always liked to go out. So when we were just a couple, it didn't bother me, because I would go out with him, or if I wasn't feeling like going out, I would stay home and paint. And I wouldn't mind, because I can stay literally 10 hours painting or working or writing with no interruption. If nobody interrupts me, I'm working all the time. I love it. I'm passionate. I can never stop. Even if you sleep just 3 hours, you can still keep going. So he would go out, he would do his stuff. But once you have a baby, your life has to change. You're not as free, I'm sorry. Even though, my friend Alice, when they were going touring South America, I was like, oh, what if you get pregnant? She's like, oh, well, if we get pregnant, we can have a baby on the backpack and we keep backpacking. Yeah, right. As soon as she got pregnant, they went back to France. They were like, yeah, no, we want to have a family around, the grandpa, the grandma to help us, stability. Because we don't realize until you have a child, but you have to change. You have no choice. So the woman does. And then the thing is that the man, he doesn't really have this biological, physical bond as strong as the woman, right? Who is literally touching, merging with the baby for the first year or two, or whatever, how long you're breastfeeding, if you are, as the child. So he kept, for him, he was like, oh, he changed the thing, because he wasn't horrible, don't get me wrong. He would get up at night, he would help me, but he kept going out. He kept, the first year he was with me, but after a year that we were separated, when he got back here, and I was like, okay, now you can help me, you can be present more, I'm dealing with him day and night, and I need help. Because I want to have some time to work and stuff, and in the weekend he would keep going out and stuff, and I'm like, we have a child now, you have to change. I'm sorry, you can't just go out every weekend, not leaving for 24 hours when I've been waiting all week to have a break, and that I hope I could have, you had an entire week available for you to work. It's like, yeah, but I'm working. I was like, and I want to be working. That's the thing he doesn't understand. It's like, I want to be working. I want to have the time to work. But instead, I would be home and he'd go out and I'd be waiting. And then frustration accumulates, because I don't go as fast as I want for my work and stuff. But so yeah, his habits didn't change, and I was like, I'm sorry, but we're both the parents. Both of habits have to change. Okay, so so now we're gonna go a little bit more into, and then the color therapy. The color therapy. So with the juice, for example, eating. So now you can use the food as to realign your chakras by doing color themed food. And you can go to my chakra adventure on my website. It's free, and I talk about these colors every day. Not specifically food, but I talk about how you can transfer these individual interpretation, right, of each chakras and functions of the organs and stuff into a collective approach. So that's the chakra adventure, was more of a collective and general concepts and stuff. And now going more into the spiritual, for example, I wanted to talk about how your body is telling you something. Okay, if you have a sickness in your body, it's a message. So for example, last time I was telling you I had a tooth. Right, I'm not going to show you big. I have a tooth coming on the back of my mouth, and I'm 36 years old. This is super rare, and I was saying, because the mouth is the gate of communication, okay? And I was saying that I had lots of things I wanted to say, and secrets and frustrations and stuff accumulated over the years, that I felt like I couldn't tell anybody. I would try to tell people, and they wouldn't believe me. So it was all this underground thing that was just like growing, and that needed to come out. And so I realized that I had this tooth, because I could feel for a long time that I had a tooth underneath, but under the skin there was nothing. I was like, maybe not, maybe it's just the bone, you know. But now this week that I'm starting doing this series of conferences and letting my messages out a little bit more openly, without having to really sugarcoat it, but being really straightforward, the tooth is coming out. Okay, so there is, of course, a relationship with the mouth being the door of communication. And then thyroid problem. Thyroid, everything that's throat chakra, mouth, all that is expression. Okay, expression, communication. Or another thing, so I was talking about allergies earlier, like peanut butter, almonds, all this stuff. So the children with allergies, what is the message? What is the message? It's we need to start paying attention to what we're eating. These are the kids who come and they won't tolerate to eat crap. Because I'm not saying that peanuts and nuts, there's a lot of nuts allergies, so I don't know why. We should look for the symbolic of the nuts, right? I don't know, maybe they're allergic to crazy people, you know, when you say you're nuts. Actually, it's interesting because you see, as I was saying that, I was thinking about, I have this gods of ancient Egypt little thing that I brought back for Esteban. So it's just a tiny summary. See, I have the hieroglyphs right here. You can screenshot that. And can you see the hieroglyphs? If you want to have fun with your kids, writing your name or writing their names in codes. I actually had him made. I didn't give him to him. Didn't give it to him yet, but I have a cartouche, right? Because the cartouche in Egypt were the symbol of royal blood, you know. So Esteban means the crown. So I got him a little cartouche and with his name on it, with the little Egyptians, right? So I'm going to give it to him for Christmas. I'm waiting for him to be a little bit more mature to have it, because right now he's not taking good care of his stuff at all. So we're learning that. So that will be either for Christmas or for his 7th birthday, whenever he's ready to have it. Okay, so Nut. So there is an Egyptian goddess called Nut. Okay, so she's depicted as a cow most of the time. You know how Egyptian gods always have a mix, you know, a humanoid figure with animals. So you see she's like a bridge, super flexible. Okay, so the goddess of the sky, who is represented by a woman bending on the earth, Geb, her husband and brother. She was the mother of Isis, Osiris, Set, and Nephthys. She was also depicted inside the coffins to protect the dead with her wings. Okay. Yeah. So see, she was the mother of Isis, Osiris, all the main gods and goddesses of Egypt, right, that are in most of the mythology stories and all of that. And she was their mother, so also an allergy to nut. I don't know if you assemble that, making imagine, you know, it could be also represented the relationship with the mother. Okay, if you had because, you know, in the transgenerational lineage, there is a lot of that relationship with the mother, relationship with the father, or traumas, you know, for example. What are you doing? Oh. No, you can't eat that. That is legate, right, heredited by the kids, and convert into a physical sickness that points a finger, a needle into a specific problem, that then you need to remove that nut so you can break the cycle in the lineage. Okay, so for example, there was a lot of breast cancer or uterus, or all the reproductive organs, sexual organs, sacred feminine symbols and that in my families from the woman's side. Okay, so when I had most of my animals, they die poisoned or stomach problems. You know, when I was younger, I always had like stomach problems, and this is why I started smoking weed, because it balances my digestive system. I started smoking weed really early, 14 years old, and cigarettes even before that. But as soon as cigarettes wouldn't help, but weed, yes. So I was on my way to find my magic potion, right, for the rest of my life. And then naturally, I'm stopping, because I'm feeling better in my life, even though I'm still crazy. But this is just an education thing where we're a little susceptible right now about it. But otherwise, a few years ago, I would be really skinny and really depressed or really bad. So I couldn't smoke at that point, you know. Now I'm a little better. So I don't feel like I need to. So yeah, identifying, you know, those messages that they're telling you. But yeah, the babies that have allergy, definitely there is a lot of more and more kids that are born with allergies. These are the kids who are telling us, now we want to eat healthy, okay? Because our generation, my generation, we are the charter point, right? Because our parents is when our parents, grandparents, they had all the natural stuff. Your grandmother, she probably cooked potatoes from the farmer, vegetables from the farm, going to the shopping every morning to get, you know, the food for the day. So very natural. But then our parents, this is when they had all this processed food. Okay, woman goes to work, they don't have time to cook. So now we have the great frozen lasagna, frozen steak, frozen cordon bleu, frozen all these processed things that were amazing, because he helped us gain a lot of time in our society, freeing time so we could go working and stuff. But in the end, their entire body and stomach, Peanut, stop! He's attacking me. He's biting me. He's like, this Peanut is wild, I'm telling you. Everyday processed food. And so the structure of your body and changes over the generation. So then the next generation, we had lots of stomach problems, and there's a lot of Crohn disease. Also allergies, Crohn disease, because of what our parents' generation, they didn't know what they were eating, and it was the most easier and practical and not bad either. Okay, and so now our generation and the new babies 2 generations down later, they're telling us, okay, now we need to go back to as organic as possible, okay, because it's going to create degenerescence in the body. So yeah, so it's like, if you don't want to make the effort, then we're going to force you. And I'm not saying that if you have an allergic child, it's your fault. Like, we're going to force you, as you, this parent, you did wrong. No, it's a wave of souls of kids that come at that time, and for their very angelic and pure structure of their body, they're coming to this world where there is a lot of processed food and stuff like that, and they just don't align with that. So they're saying, okay, I'm going to go with those parents who can make the effort and are strong enough, or have the way or the intelligence, you know, to find ways to heal it naturally, or test all the stuff of medicines. And then you have books that are coming out to help you gain a bunch of time. Okay, so now I want to read an extract of Tony Robbins' book, Life Force, because, wow, I was reading, so I'm not gonna say that I read the 600 pages. I'm probably actually gonna have some time for the holidays to read a little bit, hopefully, and I'll take it with me. But I did read quite a bit of it, and there is so much in the book. So, for example, he was talking about, so there's a lot of remedies, new techniques, right? Advanced medicine, stuff like that on many specific problems and area, but mostly like the stress. And he's talking about the EFT as well. And he's talking about this man that was in the military and who had like post-traumatic depression. And I thought that was interesting because he said, I lost interest in most things. Everything seems bland. The best way I can describe, I was feeling like every day seemed like I was waking up in a jar of molasses. And did you know that 22 US military veterans commit suicide? And it's true, like my husband would come so many times he was on duty. Every duty day that he had, he came back telling me, hey, I had to deal with a guy who attempted to commit suicide last night. Almost every single time of duty. Like, this is crazy because it shows the amount of people who are struggling in this life and who don't know there are solutions. Okay, for me, finding my mentors and Tony Robbins, watching these trainings, they force you to keep going. Like, if you get hooked into this search for greatness and believing that you have this greatness within you, then you can't give up because you know, okay, I have this greatness within you that I need to share within me or within you, and I acknowledge your talents and I want to share it to the world. I acknowledge also my skills, I want to share them to the world. And so then you become responsible. So once you become responsible, just like when I have my child, this is why I'm responsible. I'm still here because what is the legacy and all this stuff I've learned that I need to create and share. So many people, this is why I keep sharing about the trainings and the book and the people, because for me it's like I can't leave if I'm not pushing myself. And I wish, sometimes I'm like, it's crazy because sometimes I was like, I just want a week where I just do nothing. I'm just watching TV and I don't want to have a responsibility, you know? So when he used to live on holidays with his dad, I would take like a few days to work, and then I would, after a day or two, I'd be like, no, now I want 2 days where I'm just doing nothing. I don't want to think. I'm just going to watch TV. But then it comes back, you know, your consciousness is back like with many ideas. Oh, okay, now I'm going to produce stuff. But because I'm like this, I've always liked to work and look for more and create more and have more meaning. But sometimes I'm like, oh, I kind of wish that I would have this super life when I'm not even, you know, because thinking of the meaning of life keeps you up at night. You know, you wake up in the middle of the night, why is the planet blue? And you know, roses are red and the sky is blue, and you know, and you're thinking, and I'm like, it must be nice to just like not think too much, you know, and be like, what's on Netflix tonight? And I used to do that when I got to the US after I studied a lot, after I did my master's degree and my internships and my jobs traveling. And I got to the US in Virginia, so I wasn't married yet, I didn't have a visa. This was the first time I went to the US, like 2012, before being married and all that. For 6 months that I was here, I was just watching shows every day. I was writing my travel books while I was watching my shows, but it was so cool. This was the best, actually. And I was just worried all the time. I was like, what am I going to do next? What am I going to do next? Oh my God, I don't know. I don't want to depend on someone, you know. I want to... So this is when I started creating my travel books. But now looking back, I'm like, oh, this is the time where it was the best. I was just watching TV, no problem, no wandering. I mean, I was wandering, but anyways. But then, this is when it gets interesting, because he said the good news is that there's a new new and promising therapy for PTSD. Simple, safe, and fast-acting injection. Oh, I'm sorry, baby. And fast-acting injections that have been used effectively for years to relieve nerve pain or circulation problems.
Mommy.
So they said that then after tests and stuff, many people said that this was very efficient. So what does it show? What does it show? Because you're like, okay, if there are so many people depressed, we have a society problem, okay? But then we have a real deep society problem, that people are depressed and they feel powerless and they need meaning, but they don't know it. There's this cognitive dissonance between the soul and and the life you're actually experiencing. But then, like, they give a shot, and then it ameliorates. They start feeling joy every day. What does he say? After the shot, everything has changed. Colors are brighter, my nightmares are gone, and life seems so hopeful. I feel as if I am bathing in a warm ocean throughout the day of peace and joy. Going into social situations feel like a breeze, and I love being around new people and learning more about them. More importantly, I feel myself laughing like a child and smiling through my day. I feel present and in the moment. Right after the shot, I was able to go back and spend time with my children and my wife. It feels like a different world. This is only the beginning, and I am thrilled to see what happens next. And so when I read that, I was like, okay, so just a shot can change your entire mindset of life. It doesn't mean that, does it mean that we really have a society problem, or is it a biological problem? Are we imbalanced? Is it the food that we eat, that we consume? Is it our way of life that is making a biological reaction that takes control of us, controls over our emotions? And in that case, it means we're not control of our life if we cannot control our body. And what makes me say that is that when I read this book from Edward Twitch Hall, The Hidden Dimension, he's an anthropologist who was studying organization of the territory. And so they made this test on these deers, right? Population of deers. And they would realize then the deers that were in an overpopulated environment would start developing those enzymes of stress in their body. Okay, so, and they would start showing aggressive behaviors against their peers and stuff like that. So, so it shows. Yeah, I'll eat it after I'm done. That sounds good actually. So then it shows that sometimes you're angry, and you're angry at a cause, thinking, oh, that's his fault. He's driving me crazy because he's not listening and stuff. But then you realize maybe it's an imbalance in my body. I'm not able to control my own emotions, my own reactions, because enzymes. So this is also why I teach him to respect my space, because it is true that for me, I get angry pretty easily because I feel invaded in my space, because he's always with me and I love him. I'm not repeating enough, of course. I love to do stuff with him. I hug him. But when I became a mother and I was independent, traveling, a lot of loneliness in my life, and all of a sudden you have a child you need to take care of, is constantly in your space, in your zone, you can't even go to the bathroom and stuff. For me, this is aggression. Like, as cute as it is, even if it's to come and kisses and stuff, a little bit is cute. But if, for example, I'm trying to do something like right now, and then he comes into my zone too much, or not respects and stuff, I feel invaded in my space, and it creates those enzymes of stress in your body that provokes anger. Okay, yeah. So it is real that we need our space. It is real that biologically it creates those things. Okay, so knowing our body, I love it. See? Vegan. Vegan sandwich, ice cream sandwich, coconut milk, so good, and beautiful.
Frozen coconut milk.
So good. So this is why I give him, we record stuff together sometimes. I give him time to do with me. So then I tell him we have it together. Now I have my time for myself. Okay, because it's biological. So yeah, finding the ways, your own ways, that will help your biology, not just mindset, but also physically. So weed, or sometimes people, they just need their 5 minutes with their coffee, or their little break or whatever. You don't compromise on it. You need it. Okay? If you feel like you need your coffee or you need your cigarette, it's not just your cigarette. It's like your cigarette break. Okay, you're stepping out, you're taking this, the cigarette forces you to step out of your routine and go out and smoke a cigarette. So if you really need it, I've never told someone to stop smoking. I was like, reduce smoking, but if it's something that you need because you just like, you know, you're going to be more frustrated than if you just stop and you're constantly thinking about it. Okay, this is time you're taking for yourself to step outside and you have an excuse, I'm going out to smoke. Okay, so, or drinking. I never told my ex to stop drinking. He's like, he goes out and drink. I'm like, I don't mind, you need to go out. Yeah, you need to drink to relax and let the pressure out. This is your way. You've always liked to go out and for a few drinks, do it. What I didn't want is that he comes every single time completely wasted, he can't walk, and he comes back violent and argumentative and aggressive. This was the difference. I was like, drink a few drinks to the point that you come home and you're still happy, not to the point that you're going to be unreasonably angry and then not being able to function for the next 24 hours because I need you to help for Esteban. So finding also the balance. What is really meaningful and important for you? Where do you want to make a compromise? Both making a compromise. Okay, go out and have some fun, but then be available to help me. Not just, but I'm here all day. No, you're here all day, but you're waking up at 11 and you're still drunk from yesterday and you have a black eye and you're angry. Yeah, this is not going to help the day. You know, I don't want Esteban to see that. So I'm not going to let him with you. He's going to stay with me. So, yeah. So anyways, next page. So yeah, super interesting. And then next page, the ultimate path to freedom. Okay. So here is a quote from Nelson Mandela. As I walked out the door towards the gate that would lead to my freedom, I knew if I didn't leave my bitterness and hatred behind, I'd still be in prison. Okay. I know that staying in a beautiful state can sound like an impossible task, especially when we're going through challenging times. To finish up, let me give you 3 examples of people who have experienced a level of injustice and pain that would have easily justified their staying angry, sad, or even enraged. But these 3 individuals instead chose to leave a beautiful state, to find the good in anything, and find a way to use what life gave them to grow and to serve. Victimhood was not for them, so as a result they transformed themselves and touched people all over the world. I had the privilege of meeting Nelson Mandela in the early 90s, so long after he was finally released after 27 years in South African jails and then became president of his country. Having a moment to be with this legend, I wanted to understand how he made it through such challenging times. So I asked him how he survived all that time under such miserable condition in a dank and tiny cell with only a straw mat for a bed. Boy, it was the wrong question to ask. President Mandela literally rose from his chair, it's funny because he's rising on the bench, and glared at me as we got up and said, I didn't survive, I prepared. Wow. And so I was like, wow, what an amazing capacity for appreciation. Yeah, Mandela rose above his own plight and focused instead on how he could serve others and something greater than himself. And the changes that he brought to the country under his leadership was transformative. Yeah, so that is really life force. Yeah, this is awesome. Always the state of mind and the stress for me. Esteban, she's eating your ice cream. Beautiful. Oh. Here, grab this with you, please. Grab it. Shh. Don't yell at her, just grab it over there and call her so she gets off my table. Okay, so now let's finish. Okay, it's been a long video. I apologize for the interruptions with Esteban. We're still trying to do this together, so I still enjoy. It's hard for me to focus, but I still enjoy to have him around, and hopefully as he grows, he's gonna start doing videos with me. You know, he's learning, we're learning together, so I still enjoy, you know, I want him to listen to me, but I also don't want to cut that enthusiasm and wilderness because they're gonna need it in this world. Okay, so and the last thing, so we're go vegan. Go vegan. So the V. So I wanted to talk just a few words about the symbolic of the V. Did I show you all my little stuff I wanted to show today? Yep. Oh no, one more thing after that. Yeah, the symbolic of the V.
Vegan.
Vegan, Valentine, and Vendetta. You know this movie, the V for Vendetta? Yeah, and it's funny because the V is letter 22 in the alphabet. Okay, letter 22. And so I was like, wow, so really 2022 is really the year that we're taking our revenge on life, you know? So let's look at it this way. And I wanted to read one more passage of this book from Nathalie Chintanavitch, Revelation of the Future. So this is in French. Okay, but it's funny because the chapter 4 is called The Regeneration of the Vital Bodies by the assimilation, the organic assimilation of the crystalline substance. So exists. Yeah. So she's talking about the crystals, right? How there are crystals under the ground of the earth that are here as pillars to anchor the information and anchor the light. And it's true that I mention all the time that through the crystals it helps me channel information, because even Matthias de Stefano, he was talking in a conference in front of the Sphinx about Atlantis and how water, they were using water to encode the information. Oh, this is cute. To encode the information, but this is also in the crystals through the crystalline light and the energetic information encoding in the crystals. They're like pillars, like 5G towers underground that is here connected like a net, right? That we're in the middle. Just like when you say that the 5G wireless energy and stuff interferes into your brain and stuff. Just like we say, they interfere the waves of the Wi-Fi and stuff. While we have the crystals underground who counterbalance that and give us this ability to channel. So we literally live in a Wi-Fi network. Either it's the natural one or the artificial intelligence which is man-created. So essentially, this is natural because we've used our resources from nature to recreate what already exists in even more powerful ways. So now it's amazing that we have Google and we have that access to the information, but until we realize that we already have that access. Okay, for example, when I was saying about the enzymes and the cavities and stuff, I have never read that anywhere. I just feel like this would be true, that the stomach would generate those enzymes and that would come in your teeth and create more cavities and heal us. This is just an information that for me makes complete sense, even though I've never read it anywhere. This is interesting. This crystalline energy, crystals, this crystalline energies is necessary to your evolution and your advancement, and so is the solar energy. Together, these two essences form a unity, a fusion of forces, and a divine alchemy. It results in this energy that you're naming Christic energy, that is in reality the perfect union of your solar essence and your crystalline essence. In your physical body, you have several crystalline centers. Even if we don't know where they are located, you don't need to know where they are located because they act anyways. They receive this energy from the crystalline rays. Wait, but this is not the page I wanted to read, is it? And this crystalline energy is highly regenerative. So you see, this is even the next step, regenerative medicine. It's the prevention mostly, because once you have the symptoms, it's harder because the first sickness starts in your energetic body. So if you heal it while it's still there, imagine a mosquito, right? The mosquito is all flying all around you before it gets to actually sting you when you see the bite on your body. So it's the same with the sickness. It's in your aura, it's all around you, you have a negative energy attached to you until it manifests in your body. So if you get it out of your aura and your energy before it actually gets to you, then you don't have to go through all these medicines and technique and remedies. Okay, it's prevention. Then once it manifests as symptoms in your body, it's a lot more difficult to heal it with energetic. So this is why then you have the new technologies, the new medicines and stuff that actually act directly on the body itself. Okay, then it doesn't prevent you from looking for the cause of everything and make sure it doesn't repeat in your life. Thank you, baby. Thank you. Okay, I want to read that. Oh yeah, I want to read that. Okay, this is interesting. Multiply your human potential, retracing the cosmic lines encoded in your DNA. Okay, so we have our codes in our DNA. But apparently there would be some codes that reactivate key codes there would be 12 master combinations that come into the game only when the previous steps of activation of the key codes have been integrated and applied correctly. So they allow new successions of particles to organize themselves in your DNA and provokes redefinition of all your system. This is over a period of a few months. And these are DNA strains that are vibrating on invisible frequency to the eye, but that allow to rebalance the genome when this is necessary. Yeah, even if you have an imbalance of your system, an organic imbalance, they will be regulated by these 36 plasma strains. Their power is linked to the crystalline flows that are emitted since the heart of the planet and combine the crystalline rays of the cosmos when they're touching your body. Everything, I'm kind of like reading through, right? Everything that's produced in your galaxy has a direct impact on every particle of life of your physical body. Everything that's produced in your universe has the same impact on your vessel, on your physical vessel. It is so since the night of time, the dawn of times. And this unique system concept of creation is to be fully accepted and understood by each one of you for the evolution to be able to become more creative than destructive. So this is exactly the same theme that we were reading about Nelson Mandela in Tony Robbins' book. Okay, so these are some codes. Okay, I'm going to give you the codes. Of course, you have to read the whole book. You have to read the whole book. So if you come to my Flower of Life art retreat, actually I was upstairs. If I was not so impatient with Esteban, I wanted to show you the room upstairs. I'm going to go back and show you, because the Flower of Life art retreat, this is what we're going to do, what I'm doing right now. I'm going to sit down, read some books, talk about some books. Oh, that's beautiful. Don't eat my ice cream sandwich, please. It's my stuff. I don't know if she would get sick if she eats it though. There's chocolate on it.
Yeah.
Coconut oil, I think she would like the coconut ice cream though. Maybe she can have a little piece. Okay, I'll give her a little piece. Flower of Life art retreat, we're going to do that. We're going to be reading some books. You're going to have access to all my library. You can read some cool books and have these available. They're only available in French, so take advantage. You can come here and we can read them. Can translate for you and do some alignment codes. It'd be nice with her. Yeah, be nice with them. Okay, so she recommends to limit to 3 or 4 codes every day to avoid overcharge of energy in your organism. So these are the alignment codes. There's 2 pages here of codes to recite and supposedly recode your DNA. So guys, I'm gonna give you 3 alignment code. I'm gonna give you 2 alignment codes because V letter 22, right? So we're gonna do 2 and 2. 2 alignment codes and 2 activation codes, and I'm gonna add 2 creation codes. Okay? So close your eyes, and we haven't done the first steps, but she loves it. But you gave her all of it or just a piece?
Just a piece.
Good. She loves it. Yeah, I bet you she loves it. So we haven't done the previous steps, but let's imagine that this was written in 2011. She's mentioning also how there's cycles of 11 years, right? And 2013 was the beginning of a new cycle, so 11-year cycles, and that we've actually raised in our energies already, since that time. Lots of us have done the work, so let's imagine that we're ready for these codes. Okay, first 2 codes of alignment. Close your eyes. XP728KXE37 10P3V4XDVSE67. It's crazy, they're like barcodes.
Barcodes.
Activation code. You want to read this one, Esteban?
Activation code. ZPXPRP 33824 AP EP SP 950 95 40 41.
Good job, babe. Esteban, you're turning into a crystal. Oh my God, look at your arm. Your nails are looking like quartz right now. And your ears are looking like emerald. It's working. Code the creation codes. I read 1 and you read 1. 2. Do you like my earrings?
Yes.
What did you want me to wear? One of each.
I like it. I can play one.
288 VE 228 334 XE 344. Alright, so these were 2.
Time to do the
Alright, do these, but read them number by number. Don't try to read the whole number. Read each number like that.
288.
No, this one.
So 577 BY 757.
Good.
999 VU 666 777 XU 333.
Esteban, you can read big numbers. Good job. Proud of you. You're good. Good reading. Okay, so that was a lot of creation code. So maybe you're gonna have some creative wave coming tomorrow. Be careful if you start turning into a crystal and write to this person and complain, because that's good though. That would be nice, right? To have like beautiful like quartz nails and stuff like that. So anyway, so yeah, that was, I think, interesting to mix a little bit of the foods and recipes, show you some books, show a little bit of our lifestyle with Esteban, our best recipes. You can check my website for the recipes. Of course, I invite you to join us for the Flower of Life Art Retreat. So he will be in school, so it's a lot easier in those times because I wake up early, I send him to school, we have the entire day to do whatever we want. In the evening, I pick him up, he does homeworks, showers, eating, we can eat together. He goes to bed and then we can hang out, read books and stuff like that. So it's not as challenging to focus and have conversations. It's going to be really enjoyable. And when he goes to school, he's also a lot more tired in the evening, and after he eats, it's nice. We really enjoy our times. So thank you for watching another long session. See, I said it was going to be just a 20 minutes today, but there is a lot of information. The information wants to come out, and there is always so much more that we can share and say and meaning into everything in life.
Mommy,
Yes, baby, your turn.
Can we show them the experiment?
Which one?
The pad and Ziploc.
The Ziploc? All right, we're going to show you one more experiment that we did today. Ready? Did you fill it with water already?
Yes.
You did? All right, perfect. Let's go. Yeah, actually, we're going to show you a few recipes that we've been eating today. We pre-recorded that, and some little experiments as well that you're going to be able to watch right now. So thank you for being with us. Enjoy the little after party cooking begin, and take care, everybody.
Hey guys again, and now we're gonna do this. So just get a Ziploc bag out. Just get a Ziploc bag, get some pencils, and then grab one pen. Don't forget to ask a grown-up for help. Well, I'm doing it by myself, even I'm 6 years old. Get this bag, put a pencil in there, put it in there, and then put it, bam, you got a pencil in. Oops, that's okay. And then you just, I'm gonna do 2 at a time, so easy, I guess. I think it's too easy.
No, one at a time. Wait, one at a time.
No.
Patience.
Oh well. Ay! Eel. Hey. Nope. All of them in the water. Gaga. And now, I'm gonna do all of them. Make sure to ask a grown-up for help, remember? Oh. And if you want to watch more of the videos, I need to do it, some more videos. Just subscribe to S-Bond channel. S-Bond Experiment channel. Sometimes I'll do fun stuff, sometimes I'll do experiments.
Are you gonna be a YouTuber now?
Yeah.
He's like, when I grow up, I want to be a YouTuber. Well, you already are, babe.
Yeah. And then I'm gonna put the slurp pencil. Hey! And then put the slurp pencil in. At the end, you have to put a slurp pencil in.
Where did you learn this experiment?
Remember that? Ryan's World.
Huh?
Remember Ryan's World?
Ryan's World. Yeah, that's his favorite channel on YouTube.
Yeah.
Hey, beautiful baby.
Yeah, the slurp pencil. Hey! Yeah. And you can add some food coloring if you have any. I don't, so I'm not using any. This pencil is not the slippest one. Can you see that pencil? See how many there is? I'm going to take them out soon. Hey.
Mosquito? How do we get mosquitoes? Alright, are you all done?
Nope, I'm going to do all of them.
Why don't you do one on the side right here?
That's quick. That water is flooding. I'm doing this outside because I don't want it to spill. But Mom, then it'll go boo.
It's not big enough. You need to do it like this. On the side like that.
Hello. Oh. No, I'm a YouTuber. This is my first day having a YouTube channel.
This is your first day of work? Well, you've done quite a bit of videos with me.
And then if it starts to leak, it's okay. You can still do it. No, just leak. I'll do it fast.
Don't forget to give us a like and a follow, right?
Yeah. And a subscribe and the vacation bell. Subscribe and vacation bell too. Huh. You can add some food coloring if you want.
We're learning voodoo with Elisabeth. Young age, start them young. I forgot to show my magic crystal.
What?
I forgot to show my magic crystal.
It's like boo or boo boo.
Uh-oh, I think my battery's coming out. Okay, almost done. Oh, I'm almost out of battery. What time is it? It's 7 p.m. It took me 6 hours to record this video. I started at 1 o'clock in the afternoon, Esteban. This is how much you need to let me... This is how much you need to let me record my videos. It was supposed to be 40 minutes. 6 hours later, I'm still at it because I'm interrupting every 5 minutes. This is crazy.
And guys, I think we have a last pencil. If we do, this is not fair. Guys, you know, this is kind of hard. That's not. And my last and final pencil. Now guys, I'm going to do a fountain. Get ready. Get set. Go! Yo.
Alright, I gotta help you. Alright, remove all the crayons. Alright. Woo, it's like a fountain. And Esteban and I here having some lunch. Can you tell us what's in your sandwich?
Avocado and cheese.
Cheese, vegan cheese, because nowadays they make all the cheese vegan. And mine is a delicious just egg sandwich. Cucumber, tomatoes, and it's so good. If you know, just egg, it's a bottle yellow that you find at the egg shelf, and it's completely plant-based, and it tastes just like eggs. So you make scrambled eggs, you make omelette, everything. This is impressive. The first time I tried this, I was like, this is it! Finally, because my problem is I want to be vegan, but it's hard for me to... Everything that you buy, for example, I'm pretty sure there is maybe some, I don't know, they always find a trace of milk or a trace of butter in every pastries and stuff that you find. So this is why we're not completely 100%. But whenever we do find an alternative, then we get it. Stop doing this with your eyes.
Mommy.
What?
Man.
You say something.
You first, Mommy. First you. First you. No, first you.
First you. What do you want me to say? I don't know what to say right now. I was just talking about the sandwich.
Hi, happy lunch. Now your turn.
Happy lunch.
Let's talk about more stuff. Say.
Alright, come next to me then. Okay, so Esteban and I today, we are going to show you a magic recipe of, we're not going to make lemonade because too long, too messy. I mean, you know how to make a lemonade, right? Gotta squeeze some lemon. But we are going to introduce a book about science experiments. And we're going to make some magic ink with lemon, right?
A magic code. A magic code.
Yeah.
She means a magic code. Now.
So we eat this. I eat this for breakfast every day. Either bread or bagel or croissant. With every day we eat avocados. Every day. Avocados. He eats cucumbers every day. Tomatoes. See, he loves to munch on these sunflower seeds. Sunflower seeds, they're really good. So all kind of nuts, they're really good for protein. Cashews, so of course if you're not allergic. Cashews, almonds, sunflower seeds, chia seeds. So when we make a smoothie, we put chia seeds in all the time in the smoothies. Be nice, she's just smelling it. Raw food, this is the best. He eats raw since he was born. He doesn't like any processed food. He doesn't like warm stuff. Of course not.
I don't like meat either because I'm a vegan.
Of course. So he's got the max nutrients in everything. But we eat soup. This is a little warm, so it's not just eating cold all the time either.
Help me pick up these pencils. Hello? Hello?
My baby. Baby.